The major site work is done for our septic system, so now it's just some finishing touch-ups are left to do. So first I will start to kind of rake the leach field so that it looks even better. There are a few spots where it's a little bit high on the top, so I will try to rake it off to get it more level. Raked all around the septic field, and now it is all ready for seeding some wildflowers. One of the final tasks to do for our septic system is just to rake out this area where the tanks are. I started raking out the other day, but today I'm going to finish, and I'll put down some wood chips in this area. I have finished raking the septic tank area and it looks great. We don't know quite sure how exactly this area will look in the future. I mean, there's going to be house on this side and it's going to be space between the house and here, probably kind of hangout area. But then those trees will probably be gone. This might be a garden, we might have a greenhouse over there. So we're not quite sure how this section here, it's now sloping, so we don't know what level is going to be there. So for now, this is the area that I raked, and it rained quite heavily last night, so the road is pretty wet. So I'm not gonna move the wood chips here with the tractor, so I'll finish raking wood chips here on another day. And I have other good exciting news to share. The other day we did our first dump of our tanks into our new septic system. So we did that with this blue bow here. So dumped it at the RV and then used the tractor forks to get the blue boy over here. And then this is the inlet, and luckily with the tractor forks we can lift the tank higher up and then to put it here. Now in the future this is not going to be so high, it's kind of much higher than the green tank riser cover, but it's not needed right now to figure out exactly what elevation is this area going to be. But once we have dug out the house and installed the septic line from here to utility building, then we'll know exactly the elevation here and then we can cut it off at that point. There's no need to figure that out now. Only a few final touches remain for our septic system, and one of them is to put wood chips down on this area where the tanks are. So it has been a couple of weeks and now we're ready for the final step for our septic system, which is to seed our leach field. We bought a mix of wildflower seeds from Vermont Wildflower Farm. We have two mixes, one of annuals and one of perennials. And we got this handy dandy hand crank seed spreader. So we'll see how that goes. So the reason we waited so long is because we are doing the fall planting, which is you have to wait until the daytime temperatures are below 45 and after solid frost. Essentially when the cold weather has really set in. Because we don't want these seeds to start sprouting in the fall. We want them to lay dormant through the winter and start sprouting in the spring. So now it's nice and cold today. It's barely above freezing now. And now we're ready to seed them. In the perennial mix we have Siberian wallflower, Shasta daisy, sweet william, purple cornflower, orange poppy, blanket flower, showy evening primrose, lanceleaf, Soreopsis, blue flax, Iceland poppy, black-eyed Susan, Mexican hat, yellow cornflower, Johnny jump up. In the annual mix we have calendula, blue cornflower, goetia, plains coreopsis, orange poppy, annual baby's breath, baby snapdragon, sweet alyssum, red poppy, drumrun phlox, not so pretty crimson clover. And we're using the low grow mix both for perennials and annuals because this is partially shaded area and this is the mix suitable for that. Okay, now we're on to the second bag. Each bag is 1 pound and so for now in the fall we're doing 2 pounds of seeds for roughly 3,500 square foot area, and then in the spring we'll do another 2 pounds. And with that, our septic system is completely done. Hopefully the birds won't eat up all the seeds and we'll have some wildflowers sprouting in the spring. It is the next spring and I thought I would show you guys how the leach field looks like. It is mid-May and the wildflowers have started sprouting. It seems that on the top there's higher density than on the sides. So this spring I'm now supposed to seed the second half of it. And now the temperatures are warm enough that they're not gonna get a freeze, hopefully. And I think I'll focus more on this side area and slightly less on the top to get a more even coverage. Doing the same thing as in the fall, perennial low-grow wildflower seed mix and annual low-grow wildflower seed mix with 1 pound of each. Now I'm gonna mix these. So there are some spots that are less dense, so I ordered some more of the perennial seeds and I will try to fill those spots in. This is end of June 2023 and this is how the leach field looks like right now. The wildflowers have grown. Mostly there are these super tiny small white flowers that look very pretty. Those are, I guess, are the first blooms, but I can also see there are some spots that are not as full as the rest of it. So I got another bag of the perennial low growth seed mix and I'll put it in those kind of bald spots. The most likely reason for the bald spots is that when I seeded the annuals, I didn't seed them evenly enough. And I think the white flowers that are coming out now, those are the annuals, and those usually flower the first year. Perennials usually flower the second year. So even if I fill this in right now with a perennial seed mix, I might not see it kind of fully grow this year and fill all the spots, but for the next year it definitely should be the case. So let's seed some more perennial seed mix. And this time I'm seeding by hand instead of using the seed spreader so that I can control more where the seeds land. Now it's done, and we'll check in later to see how they're doing. It rained heavily last night, so that's why I think the flowers are leaning so heavily. Last year I raked the leach field smooth and you can only see the topsoil, but now after many rains, now more rocks are starting to appear. It is early July and every week the leach field looks different with different wildflowers coming out. It is July 11, 2023, and it is the day after the weather pattern that brought in a lot of rain and caused a lot of floods all over Vermont. But I'm happy to report that on our property, everything is fine. Our driveway is still solid, and our septic leach field is still fine too. I'm very happy that Wildflowers got managed to establish and take the roots in the topsoil, because otherwise, if not for them, I'm sure that the rain would have washed out a lot of the topsoil. We have been using our septic system since the fall with absolutely no problems, and a few weeks ago we opened up the septic tank and it actually hasn't still overflowed into the pump tank. So this leach field actually has not received any effluent yet. It was a lot of hard work to build it, but I'm glad we have a solid septic system that will be here for years to come. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.